The Akwa Ibom branch of the Civil Liberties Organization has reacted to the refund of arrears of the deducted 13% derivation funds to the government of Akwa Ibom State by the federal government. Chairman of the organization, Franklin Isong, described the outburst as unnecessary and distracting after investigating what the government used the funds for in the state. He warned against any situation that can lead to reenactments of the 2021 pre- and post-electoral violence where many lives were lost and properties worth millions of naira destroyed.
CLO observes with dismay that some politicians in the state are attempting to make political capital out of the statement credited to Governor Isong of Rivers State on the 13% derivation fund arrears refunded to the state by the federal government through deliberate misinformation and misrepresentation of the fact in issues in a manner that is capable of fueling unrest and derailing the cause of governance, peace, and security in Akwa Ibom State.
Let's have more insight into this by speaking with the chairman, Akwa Ibom branch of the Civil Liberties Organization, Franklin Isong, who is joining me via Zoom. Thank you so much for joining us on TVC News this hour. Well, you were trying to say that that was a misrepresentation of fact, and that could lead to what happened, during 2011 pre- and post-electoral violence. Could you expatiate what message you were trying to pass there?
Okay, thank you so much for bringing me live on your program today. What the CLO was simply saying was that the politicians in the state have, cut into the issue and then hit up the politics. And if you were in Akwa Ibom or you followed the political activities in Akwa Ibom State in 2011, you would have, witnessed the mayhem that took place, the pre and post-election violence that we had in the state that led to the, several lives being wasted, properties worth hundreds of millions of naira being, destroyed. And at the end of the day, the state wasn't put in a good light. And so what the CLO is simply saying is that there is no need to hit up the politics. Politicians should go about their campaign and campaign based on their manifestos, sell themselves out to the people of the state to gain their vote. Now, on the issue of the 30% derivation fund reforms to the state, the CLO had been following public hearing and budget defense in the state, and the 30% derivation refund was captured in the 2021 budget in the state. That is a law that was signed into law, and then in the 2022 budget, it was also captured as part of the sources of revenue that came into the state. And it was also captured in the state Accountant General's report that was approved by the House of Assembly in 2021. And so what we are simply saying is that these facts are there. And so there is no need to hit up the polity. Let us allow the governance to continue in the state while politicking continue. Our interest is that governance should not be disrupted by the issues generated by the 30% derivation.
Well, Mr. Isong
was refunded to the state.
Mr. Isong, do you think this is quite political, or rather trying to make people aware, the citizens aware of the role of the executive, in ensuring that the 13% derivation funds were actually, sent back to all of these states? Do you think this is more political? And then the question people are asking that if the CLO is holding brief for the government, who then will hold the government accountable? Because you're saying that it is very certain that all of these things were judiciously utilized. Is that the point you're making?
First, let me start with the issue that the person asked if CLO is holding brief for the government. CLO is not holding brief for government. CLO believes in accountability, in probity, and transparency. What we did in between March to June, 3 months, was to go around the states to hold the government accountable by checking the governors, the project that the government had attracted. Because when we heard that funds were refunded to the state in the budget of the state in 2021, CLO now went to the state, go around the entire government and confirm and check what was going on. And the report of our findings was made in the public that this is what CLO has been able to cross-check, to check in terms of in terms of what has been so far done by the government. So CLO is not holding brief. CLO has been very vocal. We come out to tell the government, this is what we are doing wrong, and this is what we are doing right. And so, but our concern in this particular issue is that the issue is now being used to hit up the polity. It's making the state to look tense. Akwa Ibom State is one of the most peaceful states in Nigeria so far. And if we begin to allow this issue to linger, it could lead to a point where violence could erupt. And so what the CLO is saying is that while the politics can go on, the governance should be allowed, shouldn't be disrupted. The government had made their defense and put it in the public space. But what we are saying is that in 2021 budget, this Derivation Fund reform was captured in the budget, and the budget is a public document which is there, and we saw it, and we've been following it. In 2022, it was also captured, and it's also repeated again in the current budget of 2023, which is lying before the House of Assembly. So for us in CLO, we are saying that we can hold our government accountable by getting this document, go to the street, begin to cross-check the government project like we did in 3 months, going around the entire state and fast-tracking the government project and coming out to say this one is not right, this one is right. But begin to politicize the issue, it could lead to violence that we don't want in Akwa Ibom State.
All right, the government actually is trying to heat up the polity, but then one is just also wondering why the government is also keeping mute, after making some of these claims. But in reality, you must have heard that it's been said, okay, flyovers have been done, bridges have been built that are taking you nowhere. And then in the rural areas, about 90% of what we consume in the urban areas are actually from the rural areas. Whereas what we are doing are mainly in the urban areas, whereas it's only 60% of what is being produced in the rural areas get to the urban areas. So how has this benefited the people who are far away, or the entire citizens, especially in the state that you are?
That is why it is good for the media and the society group to always go down to the street. Don't just hang on social media to begin to use whatever you see there, take it hook, line, and sinker. The CLO went around the nooks and crannies of the state, 81 government areas, to cross-check this project in the rural areas. Our happiness is that our report is made in the public domain, and we are able to inspect over 55 roads projects across the length and breadth of the state, and these are in the rural areas and the urban cities. So for us, we're not holding brief for the government. At the end of this government, we will come out to say, this is what you have received. We now match it with projects, and then see if there is any fraud anywhere, or if there is no transparency. At that point, we can come out to say, yes, you have to explain to us where our funds are. For us in CLO, we intend to continue to hold the government accountable by going to verify these government projects, beginning to document them out, and then list them out for the public to see what the government is doing with our public funds.
All right, Mr. Isong, before I let you go, just like I said a little earlier, that it does appear that you're holding brief, which you said the CLO is not. But then why then do you think the Akwa Ibom State government actually kept mute until the presidency actually made this known to the people?
Well, I am not speaking for the government. I wouldn't know why the government kept mute. But like I have said, that this particular issue was captured in the budget of the state. Budget for us, the public document, and the government has a budget website where budget is being posted online for anybody to access. CLO is not holding brief for the government. CLO is not speaking for the government. We are saying the issue should not lead to violence that will consume the state, because we know what we went through in 2011 in this state. And if we allow this to continue like this, it could lead to insecurity, it could lead to violence that affects persons who don't even have business in politics.
All right.
Is not the only thing we have in Akwa Ibom. We have people who are doing their own private businesses.
We'll continue to explore all possible ways to make this quite understandable by a lot of people who are asking a lot of questions as regards these 13% derivation funds and ensuring accountability. Civil Liberties the chairman, Akwa Ibom branch of the Civil Liberties Organization, Franklin Isong. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.